on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we live and make the time stand still? What if we stay, pretend there's nothing else?
Karma's got a thing for me. We hold hands, make plans, keep the receipts. Karma, she's my best friend. One step closer, here's how it ends. Karma's got a thing for me. You see, you'll be digging up 6 feet. Karma's never let me down. My smile will kill when I cut you out. It's karma. It's okay to hurt your voice screaming in my face. I know you gotta bark when you don't got bite. Tell me, what's that like? What's that like? Being that insecure, acting up, immature. Had enough, I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Bored. You know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. Now you got hurt 'cause you made me. Yeah, you know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. You only got hurt 'cause you made me bored. It's karma. It's karma. Karma's got a thing for me. We hold hands, make plans, keep the receipts. Karma, she's my best friend. One step closer, here's how it ends. Karma's got a thing for me. You'll see, you'll be digging up 6 feet. Karma's never let me down. My smile will kill when I cut you out. Snip, snip, cutting your bullshit with a plot twist. Don't waste my time, I don't do toxic. I see you looking at me like she's so sweet. She's so nice, I can do what I like, right? Did I make you cry? I forgot that you're right. You know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. You now you got hurt 'cause you made me. Yeah, you know what you are, you're a baby, little baby. You only got hurt 'cause you made me bored. It's karma. It's karma. It's karma. Snip, 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 snip. I'm so bored.
The night is young, we go in strong till dawn. Up all night till the morning comes. We love it so we go in strong for more. Let's get it on and rave all night long. We're the party pioneers. We won't bring the fire when we go for a ride. Party pioneers. Things are going well.
I got lost at night, under the stars up in the sky. Directions hard to find, under the stars up in the sky. I got lost at night, under the stars up in the sky. Directions hard to find, under the stars up in the sky. I don't know where to take this, I don't wanna break this. We're living in the moment, we're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder, but never getting older. Baby, it's you and I. You and I. Yeah, we're stars in the sky. Oh, you and I. Yeah, we're stars in the sky. You say that you're leaving me, the same thing you said last night. You can't do it peacefully, you won't go without a fight. So when I go, I know you'll follow me. I don't want slamming doors, no, no. Just wait and see, you'll feel it naturally. There's no one else I see, I know you'll follow me.
Well, how about that, folks? Told you we wouldn't be back far too long away. We are back, EML, my home region here, and I've brought someone along with me for EML because, you know what, why do this thing alone? Joined by here, over on my right, is Tiaki. Now, so it's been a little while since you've been up here in EU. How are you doing?
Man, it feels like forever. I swear I was here just a minute ago, and now it's already been a year since I was last here. But I'm doing extremely well. Obviously, just coming off a bit of the OCE stuff, it was a lot of fun. And now we're over on the EU.
Yeah, back over in EU, my home region this time. I'm, of course, no longer in OS myself. And what we've got is we've got a banger of our games now. We are going to be joining this one halfway through, as it's already completed map number 1, just due to some timings and stuff. We've got Les Galériens versus FanDePiuko. That is, of course, if you're familiar, our French demo derby between the two of the top French teams currently in our qualifiers here. We're currently in the mid of the bracket, so both these teams have won one game, lost one game. Of course, if you're here on the stream last night, we've seen Les Galériens lost it 2-1 to Matchco. And then, of course, FanDePiuko beat Next yesterday 2-0, get themselves here in this position. And we have our two French teams going up against each other. Now, Tiaki, I know you don't know too much about these teams yourself, but I'm going to put you on the hot seat regardless. You watched a little bit of map 1 at the end there, so I'm going to throw you right under the bus. How are you feeling going into map number 2, Clubhouse?
Well, considering the way that we saw Les Galériens playing in that last map, it felt like the momentum was definitely in their side. It felt like they had the control that they were looking for. We even got to see an ace coming into the very ending there, and they were successful in getting Chalet knocked down for a 7-5. Now, going into the next map, this is such a common map for teams to play. I mean, you play it in ranked. Everyone loves to play it in ranked. It is Clubhouse going on as the second map, and obviously the last being Nighthaven Labs. But for this, and I believe, just quickly checking, it isn't Les Galériens' map pick. So they will be going to a map that has been secured by the opposition side, so they will feel comfortable going into it. In saying that, though, it leaves so many options for teams to play around with, and so much to be asking for, especially when you consider how they play. Now, in my region, it's normal. We start bottom floor, go top floor, and stay top floor. I don't know what it's like over here.
Oh, in Europe, it's one of two. It will be bottom starting top most of the time. There are occasions the teams that like to start on the top and work their way down, rather. There's even, we had, I think it was last night, we had a game, it wasn't on Clubhouse specifically, it was on Nighthaven Labs, where we saw the kitchen cafeteria site be played often. But we get the wacky here and there, but of course these two teams are going to need to be digging deep into their strategy pool here, because of course you're going to be going into the next game of today, where possibly the loser of this one, you're in the elimination bracket, then you're in the 1-2 bracket, because if you lose that next game, you're done. That is your qualifiers all done and dusted, and that of course is not the spot you want to be in. So we're going to take things over towards Clubhouse as we get into the game now. Les Galériens versus FanDePiuko. Who is going to be taking this one? Well, before we can get there, we've got to get through some operator bans.
Yeah, well, considering the bans that we've seen, especially in my region so far, we talk about Blackbeard especially. With the shield changes that have come through, Blitz, Blackbeard, Montaigne, they're the main operators that we don't see a lot of play of. Again, though, it's not exactly my region. So, Dokkaebi coming through as the
Ooh.
main ban there, that's a big problem for the attacking side. Stops Intel operators really being able to gather a lot of information and causes a few issues if they really want to be on taking defense and stopping roams on the attacking side.
Yeah, of course, fairly standard bans here. Looking at the bans for the previous map, of course, the Galerians banned out Dokkaebi and Cade. So, of course, sticking with that Dokkaebi ban, this time around it's going to be FanDePiuko, getting rid of the Cade. So, defensive ban for the final one. Well, question on who it might be. Oftentimes we do see in Azami, we might see a double down on the anti-wall denial operators and go for something like a bandit, perhaps. Hopefully just see through in a couple of seconds. And it is actually going to be the Valkyrie pick coming through. Of course, operator, a lot of presence all over the place. Provides so much intel to these teams on both sides and something that as Galerians do not want to be playing against. Of course, they will be starting on defense, so they're going to be feeling the impact of that ban first. And, well, you called it, Tiaki. We're going down to the basement.
Yeah, starting off on the bottom floor, especially as a primary site for most teams, they really understand how to control and lock down that bottom site floor, especially if you delay as much time as possible. If you put a player upstairs just to play around with the drones, the opposition team has to clear that top floor down. If they don't clear that top floor down, there may be a roamer that comes up behind them, stabs them in the back. But in saying that though, getting that top floor control is normally very quick for a lot of teams. So we may just see one of two options coming in when it comes to the downstairs sort of hold. We'll either see them all the way up on that top floor, as well as separated between the first and bottom floor, or we'll see a full anchored site.
Yes, always one of two ways. And with Les Galerians, from what I've seen of them before, they like to play a little bit of both. Sometimes they do these extended holds. Other times they prefer to just bunker it down on the objective. The key with their game a lot of the time is to just keep opponents guessing. They're a very experienced team. You look at the names in the bottom left, Jax, Linku, Bibu, Frenchie, and Marto. 5 players, all of them, or most of them with tier 1 experience. So they have a very deep strategy pool, a very good understanding of the game, and they can apply that to whatever strategy is required on the moment. And that flexibility is what makes them such a formidable opponent here. Of course, FanDePiuko, no slouches themselves. Coming up actually higher in our qualification, placing through the open qualifier standings. Actually ended up placing through in open qualifiers in 3rd above the 5th place of Les Galerians. So on qualifiers, they had a great performance. And speaking of great performances, well, they're off to a great start as Fire takes down Marto.
Yeah, the immediate pickup there of the player playing upstairs just allows for so much control to immediately be given. I mean, they've still got what looks to be 2 players on that upstairs sort of section, so it's going to cause a little bit of problems if they can't find those players or clear those players out, and it doesn't look like they're going as much towards that position. As well as we consider the Habana being brought in, it is one of those operators so powerful to this map, especially this downstairs site. A lot of teams do prefer to use a bit of impact tricking, which is why we are seeing 2 Exkyros being used instead of 4. But in most cases, that hatch will be successfully opened up, especially if you bring the Habana. Talking about impact tricking, there's one right there.
There you go. Bibu finds it. With Cade banned off the board, of course, it's going to be quite easy for this Havana to get these hatches open. Not as heavily contested or as difficult as perhaps sometimes it can be. Now, the question is, does Linku know about the player? I believe, of course, there's one outside. He's roaming out there on the top floor. Still a problem here, and FanDePiuko, I think they're just letting him know. They're aware of the presence. But Linku, you know how much he can frag out. Ace in the last game, and he's just going to be waiting upstairs here. Go on the flank on the right moment. FanDePiuko, they're going to have to be keeping an eye on him, because if he slips through, he could definitely cause some damage on their attack. Final minute of the round now, and the attack, they're just sort of circling around here, trying to decide exactly how they want to approach this one. Here, hatches are open where they need to be. Still got exothermics as well to open up any more walls that they decide to. I'm just wondering what you're going to do about Linku up here, because he's still playing in construction and he's not been oppressed at all this entire round, being free reign, really.
Well, giving him that option means that he has an extreme amount of execute points. He has every single option to just start putting pressure, and I think they may have potentially identified him on that downstairs angle. They will see him with this drone, so they know that he's starting to make a push downstairs, whether or not he decides to make a move from a different position. And as we know, in most cases, most players, especially ones on the roam, are such a threat. Fire is going to be brought down, and that's immediately going to open up the round. They've got access to the site, but it's a cut off straight off the back. It's down to one player, and we talked about momentum being on one team's side with 4 seconds remaining, 3 players to look for. There's not much you can really find, and immediately the first round, it's taken over. And the defensive side will be very happy because they're continuing the momentum that they had within the last game.
Yeah, Les Galerians going to be quite happy with that one indeed. Of course, I've got to give a lot of credit to that roam presence of Linku all the way above, keeping FanDePiuko guessing the entire time. And that was really the issue there for that attack. Everything they did, they had to second guess themselves. Is this roaming player here? Is he there? They eventually did deal with him, sure, but look at all the time was wasted. He was able to take down one of the players of the attack with him. And because of just how much time and utility and resource, all of that wasted on that singular player, when push came to shove at the end of that round there, FanDePiuko didn't have enough in their pool to be able to get it over the line. And as you saw, Les Galerians took all the kills where they needed to, and they got themselves fairly comfortable round 1, all things considered. And now they're going to head up to the top floor, looking to repeat that.
Okay, top floor. We love to see extensions being made here, especially in towards CCTV and cash. Locking that section down and basically forcing the enemy to really find multiple points of entry. In terms of entry points, let's talk about them, Trav.
Yeah.
What do you think? We got jacuzzi, we got double wall, we got construction. Where would you normally push?
Well, I'm going to play the safe answer. I'm one of these players when I'm playing, I like to play based on what the defense are playing. You have to try and isolate where the weakest point is. And if you can apply that pressure quickly when you realize that mistake, defense aren't going to have an opportunity to relocate and adjust themselves to move their defense to where it's needed most. You can get in quite easily. You know, a lot of teams will focus over towards that CCTV cash side of the map. And if you can get in through Jacuzzi quite quickly, you can often get site control. You see it quite a lot where teams will just sprint through Jacuzzi. It's 50-50 whether it works or not. But in my mind, it's always a valid strategy to go for if defense on that side of the map is weak. And of course, Blossing over here, Logi as well, the hatch. Now going to be opened up there by Atols. Going to be sending in the Twitch drone. Going to be hunting utility, but no, it's going to be caught out. And at least for the start, we're starting off nice and slow, nice and early, as these key walls of Clubhouse are going to be getting opened up here by the attack.
And surprisingly, there's not really any major effect being put onto these two walls on the Jacuzzi side. It looks like they're just trying to leave that open and available for the opposition team to really make their plays. As well as that, we've got to take into consideration the Deimos that's being brought into play. It's just an identifier for a lot of teams. It finds those flankers that could potentially be on the roam and stops that denial for the very end point of where you can get that plant down. Surprisingly though, there isn't really an organized push coming in through the cash side. It looks like most players are just sitting down, and as I say that though, one player gets dropped and a second gets traded back. It's a tough position to be in when the time is slowly ticking down.
That's it. It looks very scattered from the attack right now. Frenchie can be blinded out, but matters not. He's the warden, and they're still outside the building. And, well, Les Galerians, they're just taking full advantage of the situation. Bibu gets 2, Linku with another, and it's all down to a 12s. Congratulations, you're in the objective, but you've now got 4 angry players gunning for your head, and surely you do not stay alive for much longer in this position. No, you do not. Frenchie closed it out. Les Galerians get themselves their second round here on Clubhouse, and that one was just not it. Yet again from FanDePiuko. Struggling there to really convert with anything. It starts off all right there, but as soon as it gets to that late stage of the round, it just comes crumbling down. And Les Galerians, they're more than happy to play that long game, more than happy to take this 2-0 lead.
And immediately, this is where we start to see the momentum kind of shift for a lot of teams. They feel like they've got the control that they need and are looking for, and in most situations, they do. It's whether or not they can continue to keep the momentum after these first 3 sets of sites have been locked down. I mean, we're talking CCTV, we're talking cash now, we're going to the tertiary site. Yes, a lot of teams play it. Yes, it is a common. Yes, this is one of the maps where everyone doesn't really go for that final option on the site.
Yeah.
But in this case, there is a lot of trouble that can come from going to, or I should say, from locking down all three sites. Of course, once you've got that lockdown and that playability that has been made on those sites, teams adapt. They learn. They immediately see, okay, you're doing this, that's fine. Let's rotate, let's change our things, let's find a different way to kind of position. And I also just quickly want to add, I've seen this a lot recently in my region, but that fuse being brought in, especially on the side of the attack, when it can just immediately remove those guys that are kind of trying to get that wall cut off, it's absolutely beautiful when played right.
Yeah, it's all obviously about this bandit tricking game there. As you can see, Aizen wanting to try and find Nile on towards Jax. Of course, it's something we don't see as much in Europe. I definitely understand you, Tiaki. I've seen it a little bit in OS, especially this morning. It saw it attempted quite a few times there by the side of Saga, back all the way then. But here in EU, this is actually the first time I'm seeing any of these teams give it a go. And I like it, honestly. I think it's a great way to play, but you do need to make sure when you're doing it, you've got the full commitment there to the utility. Of course, not having a Thatcher on the board, not having any EMPs on the board, just making getting those Rotero drones in to move the bandit back temporarily. A real struggle there for FanDePiuko, and that utility game really not working out in their factor. But elsewhere, though, on the map, they're storming now, hitting across Jim's side. Going to be moving in, dropping in through the Logi hatch, and at least starting to establish a little bit of horizontal presence here, which is, of course, good for them. However, they still need to be cautious because there's players below. You can see Marto and Frenchie still roaming about. Marto going for something outside of tunnel. Not going to be able to find anything. They're having a look outside. May be able to catch a player, but no. The entry's already been made there. You've missed your moment. And FanDePiuko, they're moving closer.
That's a beautiful Jacuzzi spawn peak, which is quite common when players are feeling really confident in their playability. And now, especially just seeing those little hits into the wall by the gun, it will immediately identify over to the opposition team, hey, look, there's a player that's on the roam. We don't know where he is. We need to be careful if we're going to make the push in towards construction. On the opposite end, though, not much ground has really been gathered. They haven't been able to remove a lot of these positions, and we talked about the man that was putting up aces in the last match. He may just do the same here.
Yeah, Linku really unstoppable right now, holding on to stock with everything he's got. He's eventually going to drop the hatch, get caught for it. Down, but not out. But with the clock ticking, FanDePiuko needs to start to make a move on towards the objective here. And as you can see, there's so much pressure being held here. This Galerians, Marto's going to find one back, extends the man advantage. 5 versus 3 now, effectively. Linku, of course, downed. Not likely going to be. Oh, I say that. He might be recovered here. Frenchie obviously seeming to make the full rotate round to go for it. It does leave sight a little bit undefended, though. I mean, if FanDePiuko time this right, they may be able to find something. Pushing across now, but look at the clock. 15 seconds to go. No choice here but to sprint in. Bukito going to be taken down immediately. Bibu's going to fall as well in the process of, but this back flank here working wonders for Les Galerians, and Jax locking down the objective. 3rd in a row for the Les Galerians now. FanDePiuko not able to take the tertiary bomb site.
Okay, this is where the 3 sites are locked down. This is where we need to start saying, if we're FanDePiuko, all right, we've not been able to secure these first 3 sites. That's fine. We know our enemy now. We know how they're going to play. We know how they're going to opt to try and see if they can win these controls, these angles, these plays. We know how they're going to play. Time to change things up. What are we going to do different? Where were we losing our angles early? How are we going to adapt? And in most cases, what I'm seeing here is we are adapting to it. We're changing a few operators. We're bringing in a little bit of difference into the playstyle, especially with the IQ coming into play for that Valkyrie that could have potentially been in play. However, I'm not sure if they'll be able to identify that early enough to change the position of whether or not they're going to bring the IQ. On the opposite end, though, we're bringing the same sort of operator lineup. We're bringing in Thatcher, we're bringing in Habana. It just tells, and as I said with the IQ, it's changed. But in most consideration here, we are seeing the change up. We are seeing the adaptability. Now it comes to push potential. Are we going to clear top down, or are we going to leave that player upstairs and let him roam free once again? Obviously, Les Galerians, they can change it up too. So the next 3 minutes are going to be very telltale for the rest of the game.
Yeah, this one's crucial here, as you say. It's whether FanDePiuko have that fight back, have that adaptability and early engagement, early pressure, something we've not seen from them all game so far. Linku taking a lot of damage for it, but it's been hotly contested here by Bar. Marteau in that stage position now, trying to swing out onto this player in stock. They see each other, but a couple windy shots there from Fire. Eventually, Marto's going to be the one to come out on top, not wanting to give up this position, but will have to eventually. Aizen's going to find it, back 4 versus 4 now. And the early aggression from FanDePiuko, this is what I like to see, because look at the bottom of the screen. All 4 remaining players of Les Galerians, they're now in the basement. FanDePiuko having a bit of assertiveness over round number 4, and at least for now, it's off to a decent start.
Yeah, being able to control that top floor and being able to control that middle floor allows for teams to immediately start opening up with their soft breach. Obviously, the Buck and the Ash being brought in are your main 2 sets of soft breach. The Grim, it's a little bit of a loss, yes. Is it a big loss? No. It doesn't really matter too much compared to something like a hard breacher or soft breaches that are necessary for these sites. In saying that, however, it does mean that your push off, your ability to remove players off certain angles, thanks to the Grim charges, it's not going to be there. So how are you going to push them off, especially when there's a lot of angles on this site? Yes, teams basically use, and you know they're going to use them, but they're extremely tough and extremely hard to get them off those angles. And whether or not you can and do so, it's a matter of almost taking ones.
Yeah, and this as well comes the final test, I think, for FanDePiuko here. Obviously, one thing they've really struggled with throughout all rounds so far is that final push, that final execute, where they go into it, not sometimes at a man disadvantage, but a few times it's been even, and they've just lost 4 players like that really, really quickly. So this time round, we need to see them winning the ones, winning the gunfights. And yet again, Les Galerians, they're quite happy to play comfortably here. Siriachini going to get swung out on by Jax, but it matters not elsewhere. It is kept 3 versus 3. Aizen finds Frenchie. Storm into sight's going to come in through now, and it seems like they might want to stick a diffuser, but do they have any idea about the player in the smoke? No, they do not. Bibu finds it, and that yet again is a disastrous strike here. Aizen and Etoile's 1 apiece, but Jax makes it into a 1 versus 1 here, dancing around the pillar, gets running away, gets caught out, and finally, FanDePiuko, they take a round when it's needed the most. Adaptation seems to work out. It was close, but it matters not. They've done it. They've gotten themselves around and closer, tying it up.
And I mean, that was it. I don't even know what to say. That was extremely close from both of them, and I really like this timeout now. We were talking about it in the interim before we started casting this game. Timeouts need to happen around about the 4th round. We need to start seeing those sort of coming in to get the momentum back on swing. Now, in consideration of that, there was a plan set up. We knew and could see that with the way that FanDePiuko were playing, they had that set up ready to go, but it felt like there was a little bit of trouble with, I guess, coordination between their team. We saw the same player try to throw a flashbang in the same position almost 3 times before trying to get down there. So it's felt like there was a little bit of miscommunication, and time, valuable time in most cases, was wasted. Now, in saying that though, this needs to be the momentum shift. You need to get about 3 rounds here, preferably. If you don't, 4-2, it's not terrible, but it is on the disadvantage end. Quick stat for you.
Yeah, hit me the stats.
In esports,
Go on.
what do you think the percentage rate for defense wins is?
What, in the entirety of... What are we talking here? Entirety of Siege? Or... Oh, I'm going to reckon somewhere
in
sitting
the
back...
entirety of Siege for this map.
For this map, in the entirety of its history, I reckon it's sitting around somewhere between 55 and 60, I'm going to reckon, for defensive win rate.
You're spot on. 55.34 for the defense and 44.66 for the attacks. So it's pretty significant that the defensive side need to be winning these rounds. It also begs the question, we are seeing a lot of rounds going over to the defense so far. Will we see that happening when it's switched around?
Well, that is the question. I think In my mind, momentum plays a big part into it. Map 1 was really, really close. The Galerians took a bit of dominance towards the end of it, and that's, I think, going to be a massive mental boost, and it obviously showed in the first few rounds of Clubhouse where they just seemed to be storming through things, and it feels like only just in that previous round at FanDePiuko were finding their rhythm a little bit. But even then, they still called the timeout because as much as they got the round, it was a very close round. It was a 1 versus 1 at the end, and it really could have been still a bit of a coin flip of who got that one. They're going to want to be making sure that coming in the following remaining rounds for this half, they're closing things out more comfortably, a little more equally. And well, Exothermic going to be tricked off the jacuzzi wall there. That's a massive loss to the attacking team quite early on.
Yeah, the immediate rotation straight off the bat. It looks like they were kind of expecting to lose one of those hard breaching charges, especially when you consider that they brought 2 hard breaches just in case this was going to happen. But they've been able to open up everything else. So it looks like the aces come in, and this is what I was talking about with a potential push point. They've now been able to open straight into... Excuse me, sorry. They've now been able to open straight up into cash. So they're going for the extensive play, extension hold as well, and try and see if they can pick off one of these players just sitting down. And at this stage, it feels like any play that is made here is just going to be cut off. It's a beautiful placement from FanDePiuko. But now, the opposite end of the coin is you get into a choke point. And you're stuck in this choke point. How do you push yourself out of it?
I mean, that's the thing with Clubhouse, isn't it? It's hurdle after hurdle for these attacking teams. You move through one difficult room and immediately it's another. Here, Frenchie's going to be throwing the C4 out, going to be detonating it, catches Aizen. He's immediately traded back by a 12, so ever so slightly too late to save the teammate. And it means that it's a 3 versus 4 here for Les Galerians, having to fight their way back into this one. And look at that, FanDePiuko have got a decent actual control of the objective itself. Should be able to get in there, because all of Les Galerians are on the top of main stairs now, trying to get control of Logi back, but proving unsuccessful to do so as of yet. They get in there, eventually force Zyro back, eventually taken down. We're back to a 3 versus 3. Plant attempt was made, immediately aborted. Jack's going to be going for construction flank. Does he know the players in there? No, caught reloading by fire. And it's all on the shoulders of Bibu here. The 1 versus 3 has an idea of roughly where the players might be. It's looking in the wrong direction for the time being. Gets swung out on by fire. Huge double kill. And exactly what FanDePiuko needed. A comfortable round there. That's going to set them up good here to try and tie things up in the final round of this half.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about the momentum shift, and you've mentioned it plenty of times. It is huge when it comes to Siege. If you have the momentum in your team, you can absolutely push it to a final objective. And in this case, it feels like now that there's been a bit of a reset, now that they've had the time to identify who they're playing against and how they're going to play against them, it should be easy enough to lock this down. Now, in saying that, we have the ability to go back down to that bottom site, and it looks like that's the immediate choice. Locking down that bottom site is absolutely huge for a team's progression. So whether or not they're able to play this site and lock it down perfectly, it really begs the question of how they're going to do that. Now, though, FanDePiuko know where Les Galerians are going to be playing. That's the first thing. They know they're going to have a potential player upstairs, so set up for that potential player or those 2 potential players. Les Galerians, are they going to continue to place those players upstairs, or are they going to start moving them a little bit earlier just to lock it all down?
Ooh, well, that is the question. I mean, you'd assume by the amount of utility being placed upstairs, they're going to want to put a bit of significant attention over towards it. But you never know. It might all just be a ruse. I've seen Les Galerians do this before, where they put a lot of utility on the top floor, bait you into thinking there's people up there, and then the attacking team spend the first half of the round chasing ghosts. They've done it once or twice before. I don't know if they're going to do it again, because that one is a little bit of a wild card pocket strategy. Maybe now's not the time for it. And it doesn't seem like it is going to be. Marto and Linku going to be chilling upstairs for the time being on that quite extended hold, which is something that historically FanDePiuko have really struggled to clear out in good time. They always get it done eventually, but by the time it's done normally, it's always too late on the clock to actually focus on the main prize, that being the objective of itself. And this time round, well, they're trying to keep the pace up here. First floor is decently in control of the attack, now starting to make work on the hatches that need to be as we go a minute into the round. But these top floor players don't like this TRK. They're just sitting quite comfortably, completely uncontested right now.
Yeah, leaving them alone is just going to cause more issues than it helps solve. And at this stage, unfortunately, the impact trick not working out. But there is that player sitting on the main stairs waiting for potentially a player from the opposition side to try and make some sort of peak. And we've seen it happen a lot, especially with big shotguns like the Mute or like the Smoke. But it looks like we're going to go with a Super Shorty. I'm not sure if that was the best idea, but it was probable. And now we're starting to see the players coming down from upstairs. There was 2 players sitting upstairs, and here comes the second kill going straight in, shotguns in hand, and now the site is opened up. The Ash has been able to secure it straight into Moto and is cleared up by the teammates. But look at how much time that is just wasted. Repicks come through as the Ash is going to be dropped down. Diffuser is going to be... No, actually, Diffuser's not picked up. So they're going to have to play this out. They need to find the kills here unless they can get back upstairs. It's available, but now that that player's down, it's only the player in sight. This is going to be a very difficult one to win.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting upstairs right now in this position. You have to take these 2 gunfights, and you look at who you've got to go up against. Jax is currently 8 and 4, 2 KD in the server, having an insane performance so far on Clubhouse. And look, as you see it there on the PIP, Diffuser's cold. They have to go for these kills. You've got 30 seconds to do it. If you can isolate it, maybe, just maybe. But it's going to be a really tall ask here for Fire to get this one done. Knows about the player playing close, but doesn't want to swing it out because there's one playing behind the wall here. The Galériens, they're playing this man advantage perfectly, and they're just using what they've got to burn the clock out, burn this final 10 seconds through. Bibu's going to drop, though. Going to get a bit angsty. Going to swing it. It's Bailiff versus Bailiff sprinting in, but Jax is good for it. The Galériens take a 4-2 half here on Clubhouse, and they're in quite a comfortable position now, going on towards their attack, of course. Going to be looking to extend that lead further.
It felt like there was a little indication of, are you ready to have a duel with me? Especially with the both bailiffs coming out and trying to take on each other one-on-one. But in this consideration, yeah, it's Las Galerians are definitely looking like they have the ability to lock down this map so far. The question is, though, we are making the switch up, change sides, change it all round. So now it starts to beg the questions. Excuse me, Les Galerians. I'm losing it. But now they're on the attacking side. Now they have to figure out how they're going to play. In most sections, it's a top-down. You take 1 minute of time to clear the second floor. You then go to the first floor, and then you start your attack on basement within the last 30 seconds. That felt a little bit rushed. 50 seconds, they had the site, but they had lost most of their members and left Diffuser upstairs. It just can't be happening like that. And unfortunately, leaving those players out and about, in some cases, does work.
Yeah.
In most cases, not so much.
Now you have to play it as a team, and something as well caught my eye, just quickly tap on it at the end of the last one. Is Shinny dropped in towards Memorial, dropped one of the hatches about 20-30 seconds before the rest of the team did there, and then just got boxed in from that position. You can't be winning it if you're going in on your own. You have to play as a 5, you have to play as a unit. And that is the exact opposite of what Linko is doing right now. Storming in through stock on a solo mission here to try and claim it out. He's going to lose his life exactly for it there. It's Bluquito gets the opener for this round here, and the attack of Les Galerians already off to a bit of a rocky start. There's a bit of damage onto the army, but they escaped with their life. They've gotten the one they need, and unless Shinny wants to extend any further, they're just going to retreat back to the basement for the time being and just play out this man advantage.
And immediately we're starting to see a bit of a different play style and bit of a different setup coming in from the defending side, as they... it looks like every single player... Yes, it is. Every single player from their side is just anchoring on the site. So we talked about the 2 different styles of play, whether or not they have that extension, but it just looks like they're on full control. Locked down, no need to push, no need to provide anything. The other thing as well is they have 3 nitro cells still available for their team. So they can use those immediately the second that they find a potential problem or a potential option to take out a player. And Bibu, he's in a good position, but it can still easily be caught out.
Yeah, there you go. You said how good of a position Bibu was in, and, well, he finds one off the back of that. Hatch gets opened wide up, and so does Aizen. Taken down there right off the back of that hatch opening. It's good Good answer back there for Les Galerians, taking down the sentry. You've got a minute to work with here, and I think it's a show of dominance from Les Galerians, really. They play a very assertive style. And FanDePiuko, when they're pushed, they'll often retreat. We saw it when they were on the attack, not wanting to engage with that deep roam from Les Galerians, just preferring to ignore it, go around it rather than engage. And we're seeing it here on the defense as well. The minute there's pressure applied from Les Galerians and they've got themselves what they feel is enough, they just retreat right back down, play out this execute game. As you say, C4s are available, or one remaining now, to be used up to try and get it over the line here for the team. Of course, still in the pocket of Sheeny, you never know what it might be able to do. A 12's in a good position here with the shotgun, swings out, finds Beep, who's going to swing onto Jax, but too far away. Trades it back with the R4C for the final 30 seconds. It's looking like the attack are going to have to drop the hatches any second now.
Well, good rotation. Obviously, the Warden's still in play. There's going to be a problem if it's not identified, and it's immediately identified and perfectly. This army is just playing a little bit out of sight. They know the plant can potentially go down on the opposite side. They have the access to place that down, but the clearance needs to be made, and it's just going to be run straight across, almost not clearing or not bothering to clear the player on the opposite side. Needs to be careful about the way that they make this push. Pushes straight in, identifies one, but it's going to be caught quite easily. The drop not even needing to be used, and we said how close this could be, but it's just getting closer round by round. By round 8, it looks almost tied up.
Yeah, here, as you can see, Galerians strongly.
Oh,
I figured, like, we're tied.
I'm sorry, I've confused it. I thought that was. Yep.
No,
Ignore me.
It's the other
Ignore
way
me.
around. No, we are not tied. It's Les Galerians taking themselves a little bit of a stronger lead here. 3 rounds separating the two now. And that primary basement bomb site, that's my concern, you know. The defense is supposed to be in the strong suit on that bottom floor there. And as we head towards this top floor, I really hope FanDePiuko have something, because if they lose this round, all of a sudden, they're now staring down a 6-2, 4 rounds required. It's a really, really tall ask, and with the ability of all of the players on Les Galerians to sort of pop off at any moment, you know, Jax, Marteau, both having a great game, 17-8 between the two of them. They're doing such a great job of it, and I'm looking at the side of FanDePiuko right now, and the kill-death ratio records on their team. No one's really standing out in a positive way right now. Fire's the closest we've gotten, currently just sitting at a flat 1 KD. Someone of FanDePiuko needs to start winning these gunfights, because I think that's really what's costing them right now. These individual plays, these individual gunfights slipping away, and that's losing them rounds overall. That's just losing it, and they can't keep it up if they want to stay in this one.
Am I watching the right game? I feel like I'm not.
Sure, we got the right game up.
Yeah, maybe it's just an old replay of last week or something like that. But in this case,
right.
at this stage, at this time, we're going back upstairs. So we're back up to the gym hold and the basic sort of position. This is something that we need to see a little bit more movement of. Maybe a few kills, but straight off the bat, it's been identified that a player is actually playing. What?
What? What just happened there? Sheeny just has no idea that Linku's walked in. Absolute robbery there, and just an early pick that really Les Galerians had zero right getting. I thought, sure, throw the C4 over, take down the Ash, and then someone's going to move in and trade it in. And there's a second player there with a C4 in hand. Hopefully, Aizen has is listening out there for anyone getting aggressive and pulling in. But you can see there, Marto's already quite close. Not going to be able to go through because of the mute jammers, however. But just what is going on there?
There was an idea, and we'll leave it at that.
It was a good idea.
But
Aizen may be able to make good on it.
that is very true. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't come to fruition, and at this current stage in time, it just feels like as much as they're trying to play these positions, they're just being completely nullified and outcaught. I mean, that was just a straight rush. It was nice and easy. Probably had some issues with sound through the breach that happened because he basically rushed on the breach charge, but at this current stage in time, it just feels like, as much as I want to give FanDePiuko credit for what they've done in the 2 rounds that they've been able to secure, it feels like it's just all running away. Everything that they're trying to put pressure on, everything that they're trying to close out, just seems to be opened up quite quickly. And at this stage, with Jacuzzi Wall getting opened up, a plant opportunity will be available in the last 45 seconds. It just depends whether or not someone else ends up getting caught early, whether or not we see this rush coming into play. A lot of questions and a lot of information.
Oh no, another freebie going the way of Les Galerians there as Marto takes down Piuto. Linku as well, getting another one on towards Fire. It's all down to Atols and Aizen. Aizen does get one back though. Logi push coming in here. Look at this, how sandwiched the players up here of FanDePiuko are, and Les Galerians just rip them to shreds. They get themselves map and series point here on Clubhouse, storming through the last few attacking rounds here. And well, what I think I want to bring up here briefly, Tiaki, is last night against Matchco, the attacks of Les Galerians, they were quite rocky across the board. Lair is where it really cost them. That's what cost them the whole series. Their attacks on Lair were not it. But throughout the whole series, they weren't the best attacks I've seen. Contrary to what we're seeing right now, they're playing with assertiveness, they're playing with a clear game plan in mind, and it's really working for them so far because FanDePiuko's defenses are just getting destroyed here, admittedly, by the side of Les Galerians, and now they've gotten themselves 4 match points to play with. I don't want to call it before it's done, but how do FanDePiuko work their way back into this?
It's got to be a mental reset at this stage. It's just so many problems, so many issues, no identification of what is currently going on and what could currently be changed to adapt to these situations. As much as we have seen FanDePiuko do absolutely incredibly well with his playstyle, we are seeing quite a lot of issues and quite a lot of problems just in the way that they're doing their setups and the way that they're prepping for a potential problem or potential situation to come to fruition. So far, it's just there's more questions than answers that are being provided. So a little bit of a mental reset. Okay, that round didn't go so good. What can we change to adapt to it? Maybe we look at more aggressive play style rather than defensive. That is something that we haven't been seeing on their attacking side. Oh, sorry, their defending side so far. It's been a lot of slow defensive play. Why not just go, okay, look, nothing more to lose here. We will play a lot rougher and a lot tougher to find the end goal.
Yeah, and well, speaking of rough and tough, that's exactly what you're getting there from a 12s. Takes down Frenchie, takes down Linku as well. Rush attempt made by Les Galerians completely falls flat. And that's a great start there for FanDePiuko, because look at the HP of the remaining players of Les Galerians. 2 of their players are on a sliver of HP. Sheeny reduces one of them to 0. Marto and Bibu, can they pull back this 2 versus 5 here? Marto's on the flank, trying to catch out players making the rotation through. Ends up catching the one over towards Memorial. I'm just going to sprint down the stairs now, try to support the teammate here. It's a 2 versus 4, and, well, Bibu's still outside the building. Going to come in to support the teammate, but surely they're going to hear, oh no, misthrown frag grenade, not the greatest of starts here. Trying to get back into this one here. They know there's a player in stock, but they need to clear them out, and that means for FanDePiuko, they probably also have the idea that Marto's all on his lonesome here. But it doesn't matter, because he's still getting kills, doubling around for him, and dare I say it, Les Galerians seem to want to fight their way back into this one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of concern in the playstyle that's going on right now. They've still got 2 players set upstairs to try and cut off Bipu, but I don't think they understand that the diffuser is actually downstairs. I was gonna say that, but it looks like it's immediately cut off, and that is exactly what you want. Then again, though, that was just a rush round. It's a random strategy, barely works. Sometimes it does, and when it does, it ends around quite easily. So obviously, Les Galerians, they're feeling extremely comfortable so far this map. On the opposite side, FanDePiuko, you've got that round. Now's time to start it rolling. You get 1, you start going for 2 and 3 and 4. Keep it on the roll.
Can't get any more without getting that first, and that's going to reign true for FanDePiuko there. That's the one they need to start this come back on now. The question is, can they do it again? My concern is, in losing that rush round there, Les Galerians, they may have earned something from it. Sure, they've lost the round, but they've also mean that FanDePiuko can't head back to the basement for a couple of rounds here. They're going to have to go to the top floor, which evidently is the less preferred of the objectives here. Most teams seem to like this basement objective a bit more. They're going to have to go up, and what does top floor ask? Because so far, it's not been too successful here for FanDePiuko, unable to make either of these top 4 sites work. So we'll have to wait and see, of course, as things go through. what could be very much our final round right now. We'll see what Les Galériens have to offer in it. Attacking lineup-wise, it's fairly standard here for the top floor take. Of course, got the Flores as well for dealing with all of that utility. Nothing to directly deal with that mirror windows bar, the Ash mainly, which, you know, they definitely could cause some concern, slow down that attack, and maybe hold some more ground, which is something I think FanDePiuko have been struggling with quite a lot.
Yeah, well, just looking at the operator lineup, we've got double hard breach available for less at this current stage. Whether or not they decide to immediately open up into A and B, it looks like we're just going to see a few drones coming through, maybe get Marto straight through and upstairs so we can start putting a bit of pressure onto the construction side. Interestingly, a mirror placement on the wall. We don't see it that often, but it does stop some hard breaches if you do it correctly. I believe it wasn't really done correctly, so that's perfectly fine, but it does provide you with a lot of information, and as I say that, the Ash introduces herself into the match and finds the opener kill. So, straight on to the disadvantaged side, unfortunately for FanDePiuko, and I mean, it's just a ticking time bomb. Whether or not these players can move into the positions, there's a perfect nitro, all set up for fire there, but whether or not they can get that down and active quite quickly begs a lot of questions in the next 90 seconds.
Yeah, final 90 seconds really here. FanDePiuko now in the back pedal, and of course, losing that Wamai so early on, he's one of these operators where his ability recharges as the round goes on. So in terms of first picks, it's not the one you want, but what you will want to be doing is taking down Frenchie there. One of the pre-placed C4s doing some wonders there. Thermal Charge is going to get caught up by one of the magnets that did make it through in towards this round. Bibu's going to recover the diffuser here. Final minute on the clock now. They still need to shuffle a few of these FanDePiuko players out. Interestingly enough, Sheeny playing at the bottom of Garage could definitely cause some problems later in this round. Going to look to make a bit of a sandwich here from the red stairs here of anyone pushing through sort of stock way here. But they're swinging out. Why are they swinging out? I've got to wonder. They're trying to gain more ground here, but what is there to gain from it, really? The clock is going against the attack now. You just have to wait here. Toxic Babe's going to stall it out momentarily. But Les Galériens, they're knocking on the door, and with 40 seconds to go here, Marto going to be swinging in now through the front door, looking for this entry, sees the player, Sheeny caught out, double for Marto, 2 in this round, and that's opened it wide up for Les Galériens here.
Keep an eye on to where the diffuser is. 25 seconds remaining on the clock as the players start to make a move up towards this construction push. And with 10 seconds remaining, they're going to need to start making a double push in towards the site. This player on Catwalk is always an extremely problematic player. Whether or not it gets caught, it is going to be found. A second is. It's all down to 1 and 1 remaining. The diffuser's going to be put down. And eventually, but effortlessly, it comes through. And FanDePiuko, unfortunately, are going to be needing to move into the next round.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be them playing the next game in the elimination bracket. A really tough spot to be in, because not only have you got today's elimination game to play, you've also got tomorrow's elimination game to play as well. So for FanDePiuko, it's going to be a long road. Les Galériens, they have a chance to close things out here and now and get themselves in the next series qualified through today, which means they can sit back tomorrow, relax, have a bit of a chill there. And just while we're here as well, I'm going to update you on the rest of the bracket here. Twisted Minds and Matchco Esports are going to be our 2 first confirmed teams for playoffs, win their respective games 2-0. Les Galériens obviously just taking that one 2-0. A lot of 2-0s actually here today. Geek 2-0'd, Eminem 2-0'd, Onvid 2-0'd, and the other games are still ongoing down in the elimination bracket side of things, so we'll have to, of course, wait for those for our next games. But what a spicy one that was. I mean, the map 1 was obviously a lot closer than map 2 ended up being, but FanDePiuko, they've put in a good effort, and especially against the side of tier 1 players like Les Galériens, they'll be disheartened by that one for sure. But I think being able to take quite a few rounds off them, especially on Chalet, I think they'll be walking out with that one being at least somewhat confident about the next few games ahead of them.
Look, you win some, you lose some. It's as simple as that. Now it's time to go back and identify what exactly went wrong. That was a map pick for them, which is a little bit concerning more than anything else. But overall, it does seem like they were able to play that map quite well. They locked down a lot of areas and a lot of sections on the defensive side when they were able to have their momentum. Jesus, I'm losing it tonight. But in consideration for everything else, it's just back to the drawing board, identifying exactly where the players are and where they got caught. It felt like a little bit of confusion was kind of going on there, for the most part, but overall it changes depending on who you're playing as well. There's a little bit of leakage mentally of, is this team better than us?
That's
Are
it.
they? No and yes.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think I know, you see it quite a lot. Players will admit they sometimes will see you've got those names on the other side. I think it was one of the players off of from P45 yesterday where they admitted quite openly they had a little bit of a panic because they saw the names they were going up against: Twisted Minds, ex-Falcons, most of those players just top 8 at the most recent Invitational. You see those names and don't worry, these players aren't the only ones. I would cry myself a little bit. I'd be scared. And you are rightfully so, but to get far in these qualifiers, you have to put names aside and play a game there. Unfortunately, FanDePiuko weren't able to do so just there, and they're going to be finding themselves in the lower bracket here, going into our next game. Les Galériens, one more chance to qualify today. And Yaki, is there anything you want to say before we go on to the next one?
Well, it's been an honor being here for the EU region, but unfortunately, it's very late, so I've got to get going. But look, maybe another time I'll be back here casting for a lot longer, but I think this time it's just going to be a no-no. So it's been an honor to be here, and remember, we'll be back on with the OCE region tomorrow.
Yeah, Tiaki will be back. I won't be here for OS tomorrow, so do go and watch Tiaki's stream tomorrow. Of course, Audios action bright and early in the morning here for all of you EU wonderful people. Our final set of games tomorrow, 2 best of 3s. Going to be a banger day for you tomorrow. You've got a nice long one ahead of you, so I'm going to let you go, catch some sleep. Thank you, of course, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. And folks at home, don't go anywhere. Might have to restart the stream. We'll let you know in the chat, but we're going to be coming up with another best of 3 series in not too long, in the far future, where one more of these teams will be qualifying through. We'll be back with you all in just a little bit.
We're living in the moment, we're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder, we're never getting older. Baby, it's you and I. Yeah, we're stars in the sky. Oh, you and I. Yeah, we're stars in the sky. Sometimes you feel weak. The fear you carry inside wakes you up. The overplaying pattern of memory hides your true face. Take your own method, looking for the one who's trying to be perfect, yeah. You will try to match it, don't be sad if you don't make it. You hope for wonders, living life means making blunders. It can make you shatter, you will try to fight the thunder. Trust me no matter what happens, because I will stay by your side in your heart. Whatever happens, remember that you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want. Follow the light if you're not sure. Listen to your gut. The right path will come when the time is right. Take your own method, looking for the one who's trying to be perfect, yeah. You will try to match it. Don't be sad if you don't make it. You hope for one last. Living life means making blunders. It can make you shatter. You will try to fight the thunder. Trust me no matter what happens, because I will stay by your side in your heart. Whatever happens, remember that you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want.
my fault. I didn't notice it was out of place. You painted fairy tales on the wall. Calling to the better of the halves of me. Please show me just a little bit of honesty. I'd hope I got a heart that I can salvage, but it's getting harder now to recall. I know well what let out both try. You could have anything you wanted it all for your fool's gold. And I know well why deaf and half blind. You could get anything you wanted. Yeah, I would have handed it all over, falling for you. Came in and you're looking like a sign of grace. I know, but I can never match your name to face my fault. But when I noticed it was far too late, you left a fingerprint on my soul.
I'll be there when the lights don't shine. I'll be there in the sleepless nights. I'll be there, make you feel alright. I'll be there, I'll be there. I'll be there when the lights don't shine. I'll be there in the sleepless nights. I'll be there, make you feel alright. I'll be there, I'll be
Oh, so suddenly, a poison the
air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones, I'm about to lose control. Only so much I'm taking, so get yourself to safety. Cause baby, a storm is coming. You better heed the one and pray. Don't stay, run away, 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 away. Feel how the rain is pouring. I'm at you like a hurricane. Don't stay, run away, 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 away. Oh, so suddenly you're poison the air I breathe. But if you don't hate me, then why would you break me? Feel it in my bones, I'm about to lose control. Only so much I'm taking, so get yourself to safety. Cause baby, a storm is coming. You better heed the one and pray. Don't stay, run away, 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 away. Feel how the rain is pouring. I'm at you like a hurricane. Don't stay, run away, 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 away. Feel how the rain is pouring. I'm at you like a hurricane. Don't stay, away, 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 away.
I am wasting all my time. I'm messing up my mind. I only need someone that I'd be waiting for a sign. I'm ready for your touch. I'll never be that guy. I think there's something in my eyes. I cannot see your lies. You think that I'm surprised. Fall back into your traps. Send me your eyes. Don't you think it's time for something else? I asked for something more. You gave me so much less. I wonder why I stayed. I am wasting all my time. I'm messing up my mind. I only need someone, and I'd be waiting for a sign. I'm ready for your touch. I'll never be that guy. I don't even know how I fall in love. I don't even know. I don't even know. I might fall in love. I don't even know.
Then get up, get dressed. Before work's off my list. What's left to do, just guess. It's you, my favorite, but I wanna taste you and feel you shake, raising an earthquake. Can't push the brakes when a rush hits. We're going in, we're going in. You keep me cheek, year after year. Only gets better, I'm weak in the knees. We hit the sheets, you on my lips, I'm feeling the heat. That's all I need. Ah, 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 ah. When a day's gone, we've only begun. That's the best part. When we get it on, I'm addicted, no denying it. Cause you don't cross my mind, you live in it. I wanna taste you and feel you shake, raising an earthquake. Can't push the brakes when a rush hits. We're going in, we're going in. You keep me biting my cheek, year after year. Only gets better, I'm weak in the knees. We hit the sheets, you on my lips, I'm feeling the heat. That's all I need. Ah, 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 ah,
I'm about to get 30. Your last one made you 30. Now you get yourself a freaky little dude. In the mood 24/7, 16/11. So you're making it, but I'ma just stop. Stop for a moment. Do you really think that I'ma fuck you while I'm sober? I'm not. Taking Uber to your hotel, eating like a local, cause you're calling back while I shut down.
You keep me biting my cheek, year after year. Only gets better, I'm weak in the knees. We hit the sheets, you on my lips, I'm feeling the heat. That's all I need. Ah, 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 ah. That's all I need. You said that you've been lonely, makes you cold as ice. Hard to get to know me, but better than the lies. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. You said there ain't no reason, but I'll sit here every day, waiting for the moment I won't feel like I should stay. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. Can we watch it fade, fade away? Can we let it fade, fade away? We'll take it day by day. Can we watch it fade, fade away? You said that you've been searching, silencing my mind, trying to be patient.